Hawks. It's sophomore Alexa Van Alstyne here to start off the show. Today is Tuesday, February 15th, and it is a B Day. The student of the day today is Ariana Hickey. She comes to class prepared, on time, and is conscientious about getting her work done. Nominated by Senora Larson Thistle. Stay tuned to hear about news, weather, sports, and more. Now let's head over to Jillian with today's news.
What up, Hawks? I'm senior Jillian Austin here with today's news. Today we will be showing a segment of us interviewing Molly Bierman from the African American Culture Club about Amanda Gorman. Let's check that out.
Hey Hawks, I'm junior Angie May here, interviewing Molly Bierman, an African American Culture Club member. So Molly, I know that Amanda Gorman made a really big speech at President Biden's inauguration. Tell me more about her.
Yeah, so Amanda Gorman, she's an American poet and activist, and a lot of her work focuses on issues of oppression, feminism, and race. So Gorman was actually the first person to be named National Youth Poet Laureate, as well as being the youngest inaugural poet in U.S. history. So I think it's safe to say that she's become a very powerful figure in the world of poetry and literature, as well as serving as a really strong role model for women.
What was her biggest impact in the African American culture?
So in my opinion, I think that she kind of speaks to a younger generation just because of her age, like herself. So I think it's really powerful that like the things that she's displaying and like the issues that she's displaying in her poetry can like be heard by this younger generation. I think specifically in the African American culture, there's not a lot of representation in the world of literature. So I think the fact that she's so young and she's already so powerful in this field is really impressive and really good.
What impacted her ideas of becoming a poet?
Yeah, so in a few interviews she's talked about her influence from Toni Morrison, who's a black female novelist. So she described prior to reading her work that like she hadn't really realized that these stories could include like black characters and black figures. So after reading this, she kind of changed like what was in her poetry to sort of represent her life rather than the lives of everyone else. So another few influences that she said were very powerful is Audre Lorde and Phyllis Wheatley, all black women in literature. And ever since then, she's really focused her work on social justice issues and intersectional feminism and race.
Has poetry always been a part of her life?
Yeah, so she's said that she's been writing from a really young age, but she has an auditory processing disorder that makes her really hypersensitive to sound. So she said that since her sort of hearing was kind of compromised, her writing and her reading were really strengthened at a young age.
What is she currently working on?
Yeah, so she's coming out with a children's book, which once again, just because that she's trying to reach out to this younger generation, I think is a really good thing to show them representation and show them how to use their voices for change.
And what are some of your favorite poems by her?
Yeah, so one poem from that children's book called Change Sings, it's written as sort of a children's anthem, but I think that the themes included are very like powerful in just that they seem more accessible to a younger generation. It makes it seem a lot more attainable than some other poetry that has like really big words that kids might not understand.
And where can you go to find more information about her?
So one really good source that I used was poets.org that has a lot of just like her poetry, but it also has a little bit of biography about her. And then another really good source is her website, theamandagorman.com, which has a lot more, it has a lot more information about her life and her like more personal side of her life.
Thanks, Molly. Now let's head over to Amelia with weather.
What's up, Hawks? I'm freshman Amelia Manning here to deliver today's weather. Today we are looking at a high of 27 degrees and a low of 2 degrees, with partly cloudy skies throughout the day. It will get warmer throughout the day, but still make sure to have a coat. Stay tuned for more updates about this week's weather. Now let's head over to Riley with your sports news.
What's up, Hawks? I'm freshman Riley Tisdale here with today's sports. Tonight there's a unified bowling versus Ithaca at 3:40 p.m. at Crystal Lanes. There's also a boys basketball game versus Windsor at 7 p.m. Tomorrow there's a boys swimming and diving meet at Elmira High School at 5 p.m. Today's Olympic events are curling, bobsledding, figure skating, ice hockey,
freestyle skiing, and as well as biathlon. The U.S. has racked up 7 gold, 6 silver, and 3 bronze medals, and a total of 16. Now let's head over to Lily to wrap up the show.
Hey Hawks, Lily Stewart here to wrap up the show. Thanks for tuning into CPP TV, your daily source of news around the nest. If you missed anything from the show today or any previous shows, you can check them out on our YouTube channel at CPP TV. To get updates on the show, follow our Instagram at cpp.tv and Twitter at cpp_TV. Thanks for watching and keep flying, Hawks.